Hi, it's Caroline with another episode of Loving Bipolar. It's been a little while since I posted, and the reason for that is, whoa, hasn't it been a full on few weeks energetically? You might or might not be aware, but we've had an eclipse and we've got another one on Wednesday. So, and like most big astrological events, I'm pretty sensitive to that because I'm on a path where I really want to clear out I really want to heal my kind of wounded child, and face all the things that have blocked me in my life. I do read about these astrological influences, so you could argue that because I read about it, it affects me. But, however you interpret it, I've been through some pretty hefty experiences where my kind of ticking over doing little bits and bobs that I do was just shifted aside. It's like, no, you're not going to do that for a while. You're going to experience what you could say was a high and a low if you just look at it with a bipolar. But because of how the work that I've been doing on myself, it's almost now it's a delve. So when I get high, there's like a vision. It's coming up from my body and going into like non-ordinary reality. That's what in the shamanic practitioner way you call anything that isn't kind of this here and now reality. So when a shaman or if you're practicing that as your way of being to help your life, which I'm learning about at the moment, you journey to other realms and you meet your spirit guides. I'm not going to talk all about that now. I'll talk about that in another video. But the more I'm learning to do that, the easier it is to access messages from there. Now, when I was in hospital, it was almost as though I was living in that very subtly. So I was getting lots of the feelings. I didn't see stuff, but I really knew, like with one particular woman, I just knew her voices were. She was deemed to be schizophrenic, but it was actually, well, not actually, for her, she had voices that were real, and it was a passed over relative of hers that had abused her. So I don't need to go into details of that, but the point is it proved then to myself that actually I had really strong clairsentience, I think you call that, when you just know something about somebody and you don't know how. There's no vision and it's not like a voice, you just have that knowledge. Anyway, so the last few weeks, because I'm more and more used to delving, and it's like I'm really asking myself, come on, tell me what's in my subconscious, what don't I know about myself, what is blocking me, because I've got loads of plans, like you might have lots of dreams, and there's little bits of me that just trips me up, that just says, oh, you can't really do that, oh no, and I procrastinate, or this is a good one for me, I phone up people and go, oh, how are you? Are you okay? Like, I'll just phone, like, there must be 20 or 30 people in my life that I'll just be like, oh, I'll phone them, see how they're doing. It's like, yeah, you could be doing your projects then. So what I do, I have a real strong rescuer part of me that if I check on everyone, that's part of me being a good person. But what I'm actually doing is really stopping me getting on with my plans. And if I actually put those plans into place, people can come to me and say, I need your help, Caroline. This is what you do. Can you help me? And I'll get paid for that. And then in my spare time, I'll have friends, and of course you're going to phone and see how they're doing, but I wouldn't be doing it out of a procrastination distraction. Okay, so in the last few weeks, basically, well, literally in the last week and a half, I had one really full on high. I went to London to see a friend, and I was really getting loads of insights on the way down because I was born in London and I've had this massive thing. Oh, I hate cities. Bleh. Basically, because I had anxiety in any big towns. But since I've been unraveling myself, I'm getting a clearer picture as to why that is. And a lot of it is because I was scared to say that I'd love to live in a city. I love to get involved, but at that point I couldn't cope with it. And only just now, it's like admitting to yourself, oh, I've kind of been tricking myself because I didn't want to admit that I'd have loved to live in a city, and I've just hidden away for 10 years in the country, which has been amazing, and I've had amazing times. So it's quite a big one when you start doing this process where you're admitting things. Now, how does this tie into bipolar? I talked to you about it's like a high where I'm really happy. I've got a lot of faith, in the universe, spirit, God, great spirit, creator, however you want to call it. I have a great faith in how things turn out for our best, and there's always a lesson involved in things. And so putting myself into that position where I'm going, please, universe, should we say, help me learn what it is I'm not seeing about myself. And this whole weekend that I was in London, it was like I was getting more and more expanded, and I had this massive vision, and that was really helpful. It gave me lots of messages about how I need to proceed in one particular area of my life. But as a result, I was really tired, so I came back, and the next day I was just like, meh. I had such a long sleep that you could say it was like a mini depression, yeah? So the high, and then this like, meh. Now, this is where I'm hoping, I'm going to write about how in the first while when you're bipolar, you have these massive highs and these massive lows. For me, anyway, I had like 3 massive highs, 3 massive lows. And in those highs, there were a lot of gifts, of understandings, visions, like spiritual experiences. But when you're not expecting it and you don't have a framework, if you like, of beliefs to put it on, it's like you might be scared. You might afterwards go, oh my God, I really was crazy. You might have not told people because you've been embarrassed about it. And then the depression, which is inevitable because you're so high energy there. Your body's just like, can I rest for a year, please? Like literally, I had like a year of just like meh. Your body's like catching up on everything that you did up here. And to me, that's natural. But if you then add in this embarrassment about what's happened and not being able to talk about it and really integrate those lessons, it's like a double thing. So for me, that's like years ago. And now it's not a bipolar thing necessarily, but having that has set me up to make these experiences easier. So the more I delve into the shamanic way and the spiritual path of really listening to yourself and your body, those little are really quick, and I come back to a place that's really in the middle. Like I don't have the black dog of like, which I always did for, my 20s. It was just like this pit of like, ugh. But the amount of crying and healing that I've done, my norm that I come back to is just really light and really happy. And I have faith that my life is okay, and it might not look normal, but that's fine by me. I'm being looked after, and I'm really grateful for that. So my message to you is, if you've had a lot of highs and lows, see if you can glean some things from the highs. So say you've had like 10, see if you can compare all of those highs. Don't judge it in a medical illness, fucked up your life way. put that aside, because I know it's hard to look at it as there's like gifts in this, when you might have lost a marriage, you might have lost your children. God, I'm really sorry if that's, I feel blessed I have not had children yet, but just in you, for you and your growth at the moment, see if you can go, oh, there was that, oh yeah, that I did have that thought. And no matter how much in ordinary life it's like, if you told someone, they'd be like, what? See if there's like a trail. One example for me, you see, the first time I got high, I told somebody I thought I was no, it wasn't. I thought I was Jesus. I said, I walk through you like Jesus, and you treat me like shit. And then I added actually, and I'm a healer anyway. I was like, they were like, what? And I was like, oh, how the hell do you get out of that one? They're like, you just said you were Jesus. And I didn't have the wherewithal to go, no, I didn't. I said, I walk through you like Jesus. Now, of course, you put that in the context of normal uni life. You're fucking crazy. I understand it, that actually I get Jesus, as in, I think he is a very benevolent being. He is a healer, and I believe there are healers who channel energy through them to help people. Doctors and nurses, most of them are likely to be healers, but they use conventional medicine rather than their healing powers. They're driven to help people, okay? So, talking to some people about that experience, they're like, oh, that's so cute. Other people are going to be like, you're so pretentious, you think you're Jesus. Do you see the difference in context? If you're in a spiritual way, okay. But when I look over my life, it's got a similar theme. I always get this thing of, we are beings of love, let's just love each other. And yeah, I want to help people in my life. I've always had that feeling. I can't just get on and be selfish and have a nice car and house without there being the element of, whatever I do in my day is part of helping the whole of, our community or whatever. And I think we all have that somehow. So I'm going to stop now because it's getting quite long. But yeah, it's possible that if you can learn from the highs and learn from the lows, it doesn't make it easier when you're in it. If you can look back and go, okay, I had this thought, and you kind of pick the threads apart, they might start getting less. Because if we're getting forced to go high, forced to go low, it's almost like our soul is going, learn this. And bit by bit, you come back to a balance. It's not going to not make you bipolar, but to me, it flips from suffering from it to using that as a tool that really, for me, I get so much from those slightly heightened spaces. And yeah, I'm in control of that now. I know if it's been too long, I go get some sleep. I take chamomile tea. If I really need to, I take vervain tincture, but I don't need to because it's very short-lived, because I'm in that vision. I get the messages and I come back out of it, and then I rest for a day, and if I have to be a zombie, that's fine. So many blessings to you. It's, we've got another eclipse on Tuesday, Wednesday on full moon. It's equinox today, tomorrow. And, it's really powerful times. So you might have been okay for a little while, and then you might also have had this. That's okay. Yeah, it's hard. I'm not saying it's not hard, okay? But there will be lessons in it. And if you can read about astrology, or maybe put your mind at ease, maybe like there's quite a lot of sensitive people that are going to have had these heightened times. Okay, definitely going. Love and love and love to you. Bye.